This is not good. I mean, it's not bad, but, you know, it's definitely not good. Because in order for something to be good, it would have to be good. Do the intro thing!
Dutchman versus
Dutchman Ninja.
Hi, I'm a Dutch person on the internet. You may probably think, like, why does he always, you know, bring up all that phlegm from the back of his throat when he says hi when he opens up his videos? And to be honest, I don't really know. So, little backstory here, right? I am not the world's biggest fan of anime. This sounds like I don't like it, but I'll just be quite up in front about it. We never really had a tsunami block here in the Netherlands, so there hasn't been that many people in my country that got introduced to anime the same way that, you know, a lot of people in America did. We did get Dragon Ball Z around at the same time, but they aired it on Cartoon Network instead. Luckily, when I got a little bit older and I had to do night shifts at work at a hotel, and sometimes I took a break, the only thing that airs at like 3 AM on a weekday is the anime channel. I don't even remember what it was called. This was in England. So that basically was my portal to anime, and I've seen all the bigger names, you can say. I've seen Dragon Ball Z, I've seen Escaflowne, I've seen Ninja Scroll, I've seen Cowboy Bebop, and especially, you know, I basically own nearly every Studio Ghibli film on DVD because that stuff is like crack. My personal favourites are the previously mentioned, probably not, Princess Mononoke and, you know, Porco Rosso, which is a bit of an oddball because not a lot of people say Porco Rosso is one of the better ones, but it's different strokes for different blokes. So I'm not the world's biggest anime fan, but I can appreciate the content when it happens on my path, when it's like really good. So especially stuff like Ninja Scroll. Oh my god, that is still so magnificent, that is so great. So when Warner Brothers announced a while ago that they were making Batman Ninja, I was pleasantly surprised and intrigued because I have seen the Marvel attempts at anime, and especially the Wolverine one is a bit, you know, iffy. Let's forget about those. The Batman Ninja aesthetics, like the designs of the characters and the world, and the quasi-CGI 3D effect they used, or like cel-shaded video game effects a little bit. This is not really a video game, but fair enough. This really spoke to me. I was like, I never knew I wanted this before now. And especially seeing once they said it was Batman thrown back into ancient Japan. So it's not, you know, what if Batman was from Japan in ancient Japan, Edo era, but this was just the Batman and he had to adapt being a temporal fish out of water. And this is great. This is, you know, I don't want to say perfect, but it's a brilliant concept. It's fantastic. Unfortunately, it does not really work. I'm going to be treading into spoilers. I do apologise if you prefer to have seen this film without me talking about spoilers, but I don't think I can do it justice what my issues are with it without going deeply into what was going on in the film itself. So this is your warning. I'm not going to do anything silly or over the top. I'm not going to bash this film until there's nothing left, because I'm not like that. This is my honest opinion. It's subpar. It's a subpar film that starts off really great. And that's a shame because I wanted more out of this than I got. So, last chance. Go see Batman Ninja if you like subpar anime films. I've seen this in the English dub because I wanted to watch it in Japanese, but then I accidentally turned the English on and I couldn't be bothered turning it off. On the whole, the cast is pretty good. Batman is not quite as Batman as I like it, and whoever's voicing the Joker is more voicing like something I would expect somebody to voice Kefka from Final Fantasy VI, or 3 if you're going by original American numerals. And it's quite fitting that I would say Kefka because Joker's look is quite Kefka-esque. But Batman starts off at Arkham Asylum. Gorilla Grodd is there. This is fine. I don't mind Gorilla Grodd being a villain that Batman fights to get the plot going. So Gorilla Grodd has a machine that creates a time portal and it throws the entire asylum back into ancient Japan. Except Batman is the last person to go through the portal, and because of the, it's the same rules as in Thor Ragnarok. Batman enters the portal like a couple of seconds later, and it's been 2 years for everybody else in Japan. So the Joker, people think the Joker is a demon king, and he rules a part of Japan. And a lot of other Bat villains rule their own little bits. There's the Penguin, again voiced by Tom Kenny, like in the Batman cartoon. Not Batman animated series, the Batman cartoon. There's Deathstroke, voiced by Fred Taskiatore, who also does the Hulk in many animated series. You got Poison Ivy, who's voiced by Tara Strong, I want to say. Harley Quinn's there. Two-Face, my favourite. And they all look great. They have these super stereotypical period-appropriate anime redesigns, so they all look like samurais or daimyos and lords and ladies of those eras, especially Deathstroke and Two-Face, two of my favourite redesigns of this film. So the idea is that it isn't just Batman thrown back in time, everybody else has been thrown back in time as well, which already bothers me a little bit because I really wanted Batman to be the only person there fighting a good fight for all these surrogates of, or mirrors of his current day and age, and there's people in Japan with the same thing, but no, they're all there, and for some reason they're all lords and ladies of the land. They all have a part of Japan carved out. It's a shame. It's not a huge problem, but it's a shame. So the Joker has a bunch of samurai with Joker masks. Pretty cool aesthetic. It's all pretty, I like the looks. And Batman fights the Joker and they fight in the woods, and it's a great, excellent style, and it's great camera work I say because it's animation, and this is all still very good. And then at one point Batman has the Batmobile, and Batman already stated previously that the Joker introduced some technology early because they were using gunpowder, and apparently this day and age in Japan they're not supposed to have gunpowder yet. Fine, I can live with that. Joker's a clever chap. He can come up with schematics for poisons and venoms and delayed rigged systematics for machines, so he can come up with gunpowder. I can buy that. So at one point Batman attacks the Joker's fortress with the Batmobile, and he's inside, and then the castle starts growing arms, and they call it Arkham Castle. That's fine. Growing arms. Okay, kind of losing me there. The film was kind of, I'm like, this is not really what I wanted, but fine. So Bane shows up out of nowhere, like a 3-second cameo. He's there, and he looks like a proper sumo wrestler, but they still introduce him as Bane. But he looks like me, and I don't want to joke, I don't want to, talk shit about my own figure, but I'm quite a rotund fella. He looks like a stereotypical sumo wrestler with a stomach the size of 2 E-Hondas duct taped together. That's not Bane. That's not Bane. That's not the Bane character from the cartoon or the comics or the films. That's a Japanese equivalent of Bane. But then why would the plot say that they are all the people from the future thrown back into the past? Okay. So Batman has a fight with Joker, and he gets saved by a couple of Robins and by Nightwing, who are all there as well? Question mark. Because they were close to the asylum apparently, so everybody from Bruce's life is in ancient Japan. And Alfred is there as well, because Alfred was in the Batmobile. Right. So basically it's just Batman, but then in ancient Japan. So, yeah, Batman's trying to deal with Gorilla Grodd. That's okay, that's fine. Gorilla Grodd is still there because he fell through the portal as well. So, Gorilla Grodd plan was... okay, all the other villains show up in their own mechanical castles. In their own big giant robots. Two-Faces is like a Buddha-like statue with 6 arms, 8 arms, 1 out of 2. And they all got these transforming robot castles. This is deeply venturing into the, I wasn't quite wanting this film to go here, but fine. I'm maybe on board, maybe. Like my excitement has already gone way down. So then, Grodd's plan is that he manipulated all the villains to build these castles with his psychic powers. This is great. This is fine. This all makes it make perfect sense that Gorilla Grodd made all these villains make transforming castles so that Gorilla Grodd can have a giant Super Sentai Power Rangers Megazord castle that combines together like it's Voltron. It's not exactly what I signed up for, but this is the best in a bad situation. So Batman shows up with all of his friends and his youngest son, his son Damien, who we know in the comics as a very aggressive, very dour person. He's got a monkey sidekick, and his monkey understands English. So, Gorilla Grodd saves Damien's life because of reasons. And the Joker takes over Gorilla Grodd's transforming robot castle. Because yeah, okay. So, Gorilla Grodd gives Damien Robin a magical flute. Damien plays the flute together with his monkey sidekick, and they summon a swarm of little monkeys, all dressed up as Ronin or samurai warriors. They begin to swarm the giant robot, but that's to no avail, that doesn't do anything. So what happens then is that all the monkeys stand on top of each other and they form a giant statue made out of monkeys, and they start fighting the giant castle. So it's a giant monkey statue made out of monkeys fighting a giant castle piloted by the Joker. And this is the point where I was like, this is not what I signed up for, and this is no longer what I want. So this isn't enough. The castle is too big, there's not enough monkeys. So Batman summons a bunch of bats, and he proceeds to do the very same thing with those bats. He makes a giant Batman. He makes a giant Batman made completely out of bats. It has a cape, it has a big yellow belt, it has Batman's face. A giant Batman made out of bats punches a giant castle that the Joker pilots. At this point I was like, no, I've clocked out. I'm no longer invested in this. This is no longer doing it for me. I'm sorry. I know it's like, okay, there are different kinds of anime out there, and I wasn't going in expecting Ninja Scroll, but I also wasn't expecting, you know, this is things like, this is Pokemon level, and this is a bunch of Pokemon stacked up on top of each other, fighting a giant Team Rocket robot. That's what this is. That's not what I came in for my Batman Ninja anime. So then all the Bat family, they go inside the castle and they fight several bad guys, and it's all cool and all, that's alright. Those fights are over way too quick. Batman has an excellent fight with the Joker, but like I've said, I'd already clocked out before this. I was already like, you know, I was no longer invested. So this massive fight between an evil Japanese-looking Joker in kimono garbs, or probably not kimono, I don't know. I'm not that well versed in Japanese culture. I do apologise. Having a proper fight with Batman dressed, you know, redesigned as a warrior of Edo, and yeah, I just didn't care anymore. So Batman wins the fight, he saves the day, and he sends everybody back into the future. And the last shot of the film is Catwoman sells something she stole from Japan, which is great. It's like, okay, Catwoman's gonna be Catwoman. And the next shot is Batman coming around the corner in a horse and carriage with 6 horses and a small fortress made out of wood, as if, because he has no other Batmobiles, so he's got a giant Batman chariot. I'm sorry, this was just not... I've just recapped the entire film. I do apologise. I don't like to do this. I don't tend to do this usually. So if you're new to the channel, you don't see me talk about films very often. Usually I try to talk about what worked for me and what didn't work, and what character moments are great and what actors were great. Except with this, it's just... it starts off strong. The aesthetics, the style, the fights, it starts off great. Like up until Gorilla Grodd, as all the castles come together, probably that bit. Just when everything was still about street level fights and the fights on the ship, and that was all great stuff. And then the last third or half of the film, I just couldn't anymore. It's a shame, because I was really hoping they'd continue with that. So please let me know in the comments down below if you actually did like it, and maybe I'm just being a grumpy pants. Please let me know. Comment that I'm a big grumpy pants. Please follow me on all the social medias. I've got several, so you just type in anything at Dutch Sticker and you'll find me, I'll promise you. And I hope to see you soon, and I hope, like I said, this is not the worst thing in the world, but I'm very disappointed. Shame on you. I hope to see you soon.